safely and have that vision over the shrine areas so you know
10
when rotations are
seconds
coming in. You
remaining.
can back out when it's safe. Keep vision on the
5
Roche
seconds
pit.
remaining.
Always want that vision advantage. And if you're up against a wyvern as well, you want to know that you're not standing too close to your
Dire
squishy
team
Lena
pick.
and
Yeah,
prompting a
Crystal Maiden.
curse out.
Crystal Maiden. So sister, sister action here with Selena and CM on the
Radiant
same team.
team ban.
Yet another one of these picks that seems pretty damn synergistic here because Wraith King, Beastmaster, Lena, all of those are kind of mana hungry. They want to be able to spam their spells if at all possible, and that's the M aura. You don't always see the impact of it, but it's just a few more spells here and there, especially in the laning phase, that just help you win that. And also throughout the game, just always having
10
that extra mana
seconds
regen.
remaining.
It certainly feels much easier to play the game if
5
you have a CM on
seconds
your team.
remaining.
Yeah, and it opens up a couple of nice mid picks as well. If this is that support Lena, it
Dire
opens
team
up
ban.
your Zeus's, your Storm Spirits. They do ban out the Ember, but even Ember loves himself a good CM
Yeah.
backing him up that mana. So Leshrac actually is another one that could be really strong right now.
Oh yeah.
You get lots of magic damage in
Dire
the
team
fights. You
pick.
can just kind of run around and be a tanky damage sponge of sorts. So
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised to see SG maybe look at something like that. For G Pride, though, they do end up picking up that Tide Hunter. So right now, they have a lot of team fight, but there is still that Wraith King for SG Esports. So they're going to have to
10
kind of
seconds remaining.
either burn the Winter's Curse onto the Wraith King himself or just look to
5
kite him
seconds
around
remaining.
with the Oracle
Yeah.
and the Wyvern.
Radiant
And
team pick.
we'll have to see how they do want to play it. There's the OD. Okay, so that's the Wraith King answer. It's just we're
Yeah.
going to just take all your mana.
Took us a while, but we finally figured out what their plan is, and I mean, can certainly work. OD is this heavy hitter that you're looking for because the other heroes, Winter Wyvern, Oracle, Titan, especially, they're very much utility focused. Lifestealer can have some issues. You talked about it before
10
against the Wraith King
seconds
first life, and
remaining.
the rage cooldown, you're kind of a slave to that, certainly in a game like this,
5
whereas
seconds remaining.
Frostbite and Fire Blasts and LSAs and these short cooldown stuns that help kite you around otherwise. So I think there's gonna be a lot on OD to actually get going in this game and get going fast. Be the answer not just to the Wraith King, but also provide that damage output if you want to kill almost anyone else. Especially
Yeah.
if the ultimates aren't involved from the Tide or the Wyvern.
The nice thing here is that they've enabled Dark Mago really nicely with their lineup. They have two supports with strong saving capabilities between the Wyvern and the Oracle, and then they have two cores that can act as really beefy frontliners. So realistically, OD should be able to sit in the back of this fight and just pelt away with arcane orbs because if you focus him, then the lifestealer is going to shred you apart. You
Yeah.
really need to focus down that lifestealer. So G Pride has themselves this really nice draft of even if you're kiting the lifestealer away, it doesn't matter because he's going to go for that Midas Radiance build and you're going to have an OD just running around, bopping you on the head. And there's so much team fight on the side of G Pride. You have a Wyvern for setup, you have a Tide Hunter for counter initiation, you have an Oracle for save, and then you drop a Sanity's Eclipse on top of all that. It's going to be really tough for SG to get any kind of favorable team fight. They're going to have to look to split the map with that Beastmaster, with that Lena, keep those creep waves pushed in, force G Pride to split up because whenever that 5-man is able to come together, they're going to have a really tough time fighting into it.
You may now select your heroes.
Well, there's a solution to that. That Storm Spirit that you were just talking about as well. That is the hero that can kind of just skip the front line entirely. Either look for these supports that are keeping the core safe, or just occupying the OD so the rest of the team can handle and just take the fight without having to worry about the arcane orbs and imprisonment saves potentially and these kind of things.
Yeah, it is that CM pairing that we talked up as well, right? The
Yeah.
idea of just a mana battery enabling that Storm Spirit. The only concern I really have for this Storm Spirit is going to be his laning phase. Storm is basically a melee hero in terms of laning phase because he uses his remnants to farm
10
effectively. And
seconds
OD,
remaining.
once he gets a couple levels in that Astral Imprison, it's going to be really
5
hard for Storm
seconds
to
remaining.
effectively do anything. Lena might be able to rotate in and make some space and cause some chaos. She'll have to smoke in and put some pressure on OD. But then you're ganking an OD, and if he doesn't use his Astral offensively, then he always has that safe potential. And there's very good, again, defensive capabilities on the side of G Pride.
Yeah. By the way, should make for a very interesting game. In terms of predictions, I'd earn the side of SG Esports. I've seen this type of draft before. It kind of covers a lot of the boxes. Especially with that the Storm Spirit as well. We've actually saw Dark Mago win the game with that up against Team Ham earlier. So that it's certainly a strong hero that can scale, especially with the kind of support stuff that you have. If you do have to take this game later and later, which you might not even have to with all the push that they have available to them.
Yeah, I think if Storm's able to come out of the laning phase with a reasonable amount of farm, or if he just retreats to the jungle and is able to do that without getting pestered too much, I think SG has a really good spot. But honestly, straight draft advantage, I'm going to have to give to G Pride. I think they have a very solid team fight. I think they have very good wave clear as well. And wave clear is what you're going to need against a team that has a CM and a Beastmaster and a Lina. There's lots of out spam on the side of SG, but there's a decent amount on G Pride as well. So I think their team fight being superior and the ability to fight around the pit. They don't necessarily take Roche very well themselves, but they fight around the pit insanely well.
Yeah.
So I think G Pride has a little bit of an advantage.
See how it works out in the end. For now, we have a quick pause just to make sure that everyone's ready to go. Everyone's got the hotkey set up. I'm assuming that they do, but who knows what's going on, right? But it does give us a chance to once again welcome anyone who's just joining in. SG Esports versus G Pride, 1-1 the current standings for both of these teams. Nothing's decided just yet, but you need to get points on the board. You need to be in the top 4 by the end of the group stage if you want to survive until the playoffs. Very brutal, very short tournament as well here, short qualifiers, 4 days and everything is done. We'll have found our one team that we can say hello to in Shanghai.
It feels like this DPC season has flown by. Like,
No, right?
it's been such a great year for Dota.
It's just been a lot of Dota, it feels like. Not as much as they used to be, but even then with all the qualifiers, just back to back essentially. There's either qualifiers or tournaments going on.
There's been a lot of high quality Dota, that's
Yeah,
what I would
that
say.
too.
There might be less quantity, but the quality I feel like has been overall just so good this year. Everyone's been getting just so strong, and it's really nice seeing, especially South America, grow as a region.
Oh yeah. Especially with the minors as well. Like, I think the minors have had some excellent Dota to be watched, and that's not exactly something that's that everyone necessarily anticipated.
Yeah.
Also when it comes to viewership and whatnot, I think they performed very well. And
Yeah.
it's nice to see some of these teams making a name for themselves through that stage.
Absolutely. I would 100% agree.
A wyvern's breath.
Alright, laning shenanigans. We got an Oracle down bottom with a Winter Wyvern for the time being.
It's going to be a tri-lane on tri-lane, leaving
30
Beastmaster and
seconds to
Tidehunter up alone top. I think this is... I mean, it's just going to be a trade farm lane. Beastmaster is going to try and be annoying. Tidehunter is going to just anchor smash everything. Bottom, though, they are already going on Wraith King.
A bit of damage being done here. Arctic Burn certainly helpful against these high health heroes. Now the follow-up still from Adara, going for the open wounds first, but it doesn't really look like they're gonna be able to do something with that. OD even saying hello, getting a few extra clicks in, but now he's out of the tower, so he's absolutely fine. Backs for right clicks towards Mars, so no first blood. Can even secure the
Oh my
room?
god, is he
Oh,
actually
Lina?
gonna get
No, okay. That would have been something else, and could right-click him down. Now they're certainly going to try, but Golem is there together with Cat. Another LSA catching all 3 of them. Ma will still die here, but Dark Mego looks like he might as well, but he's pretty damn fast on his feet.
He's missing all this experience mid lane, though. This is literally just a free lane so far for Analog.
Can't even go there right now. He has to... Yeah, he's going to deny himself to the tower. Giving a bit of money
It's
over.
literally
but
just
yeah.
a free wave.
He's level 2 on the Storm Spirit right now.
Dire's middle
Crystal
tower
Maiden ends
is
up dying as well. Down bottom is a dive once more, sliding now. It's like it's gonna be another casualty. SG. Hello, Golem. He's also out of region.
Deal with it.
I mean, we were asking for some funky SA Dota, and it didn't take long to get there, Forge.
No, did not at all. That was... And I mean, Lifestealer having open wounds level 1 means that he can't really do anything. Like, he has to fight and be annoying, but not having Feast means he doesn't actually
He's gonna die.
trade very well, and now he's gonna get clicked
under
down.
attack.
Verify goes in. Jericho also with a few stick charges trying to deny himself the creeps. That's not gonna happen. No more mana for him, so all he can do is rely on his own right clicks.
I love SA Dota, man.
Ah.
You don't get this in any other region.
I thought I've seen it all with the kind of draft that G-Pride had earlier. I've also seen his Sand King go for the HP region talent instead of the blind and slow against an AA nonetheless. But, well, just when you think that you've seen it all, you see something even funny and
Together again.
Yeah.
even
Storm
way too
crushing
much.
the mid lane though because of that first wave
Really?
advantage. 10-3 to the 5-2. This will start to equalize once more levels come in for Dark Mango, but for now, Storm's just having a time.
Let's talk about top lane. Let's just leave us with a Beast Mass up against Titan. It should just be a farming lane for the most part, right?
Oh yeah, it's just gonna be trade farm. So we are gonna have another pause come in. But yeah, Tide, he's sitting top CS right now, but most of that is just because the wave is pushing in towards the tower.
Yeah.
Beastmaster will pick up an extra couple under his tower. There's nothing exciting really gonna happen in here.
Good thing, that's one lane that they don't have to worry about kills happening randomly.
I think it's bottom lane, man. This bottom
Yeah,
lane is
this
gonna
is-
be crack-a-lackin' for a while.
From an observer standpoint, it's probably one of the easier games to start off on. Yeah. Because there's no real kill potential in mid either, right? Maybe if Storm gets level 6. But even then, there's
Yeah, once
should be the
Storm has-
improvement.
I would say at level 4. Level 4 is when Storm can kind of poke a bit more. If Dark Mango uses the Imprison offensively, and Storm goes for the pull at level 4, we could see some kills, but
Seen a lot of
it'll be
Storms
difficult.
go for this early Vortex, even into the 1-1-1.
To me.
And it just does a good amount of damage, actually, because you get an extra overload. You can bring them into the Remnant.
yeah. It's I like the adaptation because before Storm Spirit, like you just kind of skip pull until maybe like level 8 or 9. And he was farming a bunch. Now you have a lot more outplay potential, a lot more exciting mid-game action. So as a viewer, I think it's a lot more fun. And even as a Storm player, I enjoy it a lot.
Speaking as a CM player, have just got the 3-man Crystal Nova.
The efficiency,
Hashtag
man.
value. Now Jericho. Trying to play with these creeps, but now the LSA. There's so much control here between the two of them. Easy kill with the crit.
Grit.
In style.
No amount of foresight could have
The one true king. Here to stake his claim.
Dark Mango.
Mid lane.
Hello? Okay.
Did he pop his haste yet? He's got a haste. He's gonna die for this.
There's Magic One with 13 charges though, so can't really dive the tower
that's
for
true.
that. That was very close, so one more click with the overload would have done the trick.
Yeah. That extra second on Astral was the difference maker.
Oh boy. That's a history.
Analog wants this so bad. He wants it so bad. He has to try and bait out the Astral. It's the only way he gets this. Yeah, there it is.
It is.
He can get this now.
Little stick charge. I don't think you can't dive the tower, surely. It's just hurting too much. Mimo down bottom though. Ma, kinda low. LSA disconnect, but not on Madara, of course, who is going to finish that particular kill. They're trying to trade for Jericho, and once again, no creep deny. Golem, another kill. Now another stun on LS. No stick charges to refuel his mana more so than anything else. So support for support, I guess.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Looking at CS, Lifestealer is pretty far ahead of the Wraith King. That's the big difference.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kills going on in this tri lane, but 21-4 for this Lifestealer.
How many of those are skeletons?
It can't be that many.
Can't be that many. Net worth wise, he's behind though, because Wraith King, he's got 4 kills. So normally you see these early game kills not matter as much as CS. But if it's this many, then it still makes a difference.
Well, runes coming up now. That's going to be the other big difference maker. 3 it looks like for SG.
Sword is super fast, but he isn't because of the 4 gaming from Sexy Fat. Great name, by the way.
Sexy.
I just gotta point that out, you know.
It is a pretty good one.
Alright, let's see Rage off now. Turning things on Golem. He's losing a bit of trouble. Doesn't take charges of his own. And he's going to need them eventually. Also healing up a little bit here from the Oracle. Now called follow-up stun. They just straight up get the kill. On lifesteal instead. Coming in with the self, keeping him alive. There's another stun in a couple of seconds. They should be using that to secure starting.
They're unstoppable.
This is only 2 for 1.
This is Gabe Newell. Thanks for playing Dota 2.
Alright.
I almost wonder if you want to just rotate Tide down to bottom at this point and just let Lifestealer go top. He's not really getting that much out of this tri-lane at this point.
Certainly giving more than you're getting at this point. I mean, this Wraith King has the Midas queued up. Gonna hit a decent timing on that, even with the are the face boots already coming out, or is it just a casual chainmail for now?
Yeah, no, he's bringing the phase boots on Lina right now.
Okay. Oh yeah, right. Someone else playing
Efficiency, man.
Yeah. But a Courier can go mid. Very good.
Speaking of mid, OD recovering very well. Like I said, once he got his levels, 34-19 to the 34-4. Those denies really adding up. Level 6.5 on OD to just hitting
right bottom, Madara. LSA goes in. Another Rage available in the second. Mass already dead. Now the imprisonment. Dark Mago, he's rotating down bottom to help out and maybe gets a kill on Wraith King. Stick charge is already used. Hammer drop. Not enough to last right click though. Will do the trick. Level 1 arcane orb, but it is enough.
Good rotation for Mago though.
Way. Yeah, absolutely.
And he's got a bunch of gold saved up. He might go for his own Midas, which does allow SG a bit of a timing window where maybe they could be a bit stronger, but with Storm having as rough of a start as he is, and this Midas on the Wraith King, this greedy play from G-Pride could actually go well. The team, like I said, they have the better team fight, and going into late game, I'm always going to favor the team with better team fight, even if there's a Storm.
I've been wanting this.
Certainly something that they're going to be looking to bank on as the game goes on. Also going to have the Tide Hunter who's going to... Yeah, looks like he's going to fulfill this utility role. Has the Vladimirs. You left here, same with the mechanism falling down on Grease, I would imagine. But now it's actually been gone on. Ma joining in the roar just after the first pop there. After Kraken Shell. This should be a very easy kill, and it is indeed. So, Lina taking the opportunity to mix up another lane.
Yep.
Does mean that
Good,
Wraith King has to play more defensive though.
Yeah. Good timing on the roar from Sexy Fat there as he waits until that proc, and he only has level 2 Kraken Shell, so it takes 550 more health to actually proc, which is half his life pool. Oh, down bottom, we're missing another kill. Wraith King goes down again at level 5.
Oh. Just said he needs to play more defensively, and then he didn't, and then he died. I wonder what that's about.
Drag and drop the Oracle?
Well, it looked like a 3 against 1. Cat was nowhere near there to help out, and even if he was, I don't think Soul Crest Bane can do a whole lot. Maybe it was Cat's grand plan though. I mean, gonna be a lot of experience coming his way now. Easy level 5, I guess?
Easy level 5, yeah. That extra point in Arcane
Yeah,
Aura.
gotta get it, but now he's gonna die before he can actually get that going for himself, so never mind. 9 minutes in, bottom lane,
What
turning
is
around.
this?
There's top lane, Ravage goes in, there's a TP in from Dark Mago. And that is a bit of damage being done to Sexy Fat. No hammer available, and there's no one actually dead just yet. And now, Analog dead, Sword going down first instead. Sexy Fat still very much alive. Does have for Roar to work with. LSA first, and don't even need it. So much burst damage from the Storm. On to the next one, perhaps. Jericho, he just falls apart. Double kill, followed by LSA, set up by the Frostbite. Triple kill for Analog. SG Pride just feed one after the other.
So, remember how I said the team with better team fight I will favor? That really only works if you have your cooldowns available. There was like another 20 seconds left on Sanity's when OD TP'd in, and Ravage just got used, but
Yeah.
it got used before the help was there, before the damage was there, so it wasn't actually able to do anything. It was a nice Ravage, but OD was still TPing in, so
Yeah.
gets completely wasted, and very nice turnaround from SG.
Nice of them to identify that situation, identify that, hey, yeah, they didn't actually do too much damage with that. They're trickling in one by one. We have the Storm Spirit with plenty of mana, even without the Kaya.
He had the Arcane Rune.
Yeah,
That's how he's able to do it.
it. Plus the Arcane Aura. So much Arcane stuff going on. Kappa. And now they got the tower on top of that. These couple of kills that put the Storm Spirit at 5k net worth.
Yeah, and that's the big difference between SG's draft and G-Pride, is their ability to quickly turn those team fights and those kills into objectives. G-Pride has really good team fight, but in terms of tower pushing ability, you have a Beastmaster. Like, he's that primal inner beast attack speed is always going to give you that advantage.
Especially with this kind of build, just completely skipping the wild axes. It's already online. Especially with the Vlads, like, you hit hard, you hit fast. With your summons.
OD's going for a very interesting skill build. I tried to call this out right before that fight, but got interrupted. But he is rushing Scythe. First item Scythe on OD.
Okay.
He's got the Mystic Staff already. He's committed. Like, he's there.
Once I've seen that before. What is that for? It's just to have something to catch a storm with, I guess, because they don't have any other instant stuns, for that matter. Now, okay, off the Titan, and there's another Ravage available. He could turn this around if he had help. Long TP there from Jericho, but they're still respecting it enough.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, and now they get to just sit Saladin on top. He can spam out the waves with the Splinter Blast, and actually they will commit the curse.
Okay. It's like an easy kill now. Yeah, he was winding up for the roll, but that would not have made the difference there either, I don't think. That's not opening in mid though. Sword. Couple of stuns here. This one perched off. He's trying to go for the Raptor. What? How does he live there?
He has the wand.
Well, he's still dead, and no one there once again to follow up with the Ravage. It's back on cooldown. No gain, but they're still committing more and more resources in here to make sure that this tower stays alive. They don't want to let this map control go just yet.
Yeah, you've already lost your top T1, so if you do end up losing this mid, it's going to just completely open up your jungle, and you do still have that lifestealer, wants to go for the Radiance build, has his Midas online, he's been farming away nicely, he's got 1,000 gold saved up, but if you lose that mid tower, that jungle becomes much more unsafe, and you don't really have the best vision set up on the map to play on the bottom side of the map, which is what you would normally see teams do. They've set up a lot more defensive vision in their own jungle, so they have to make sure that this tower stays alive.
Yeah. Speaking of towers, Gorillaz was able to get the bottom one a little bit earlier. He also has his Midas going, so that's that. So perhaps for these two carries from a Lifestealer on one side, Wraith King on the other, you'd assume that they'd be farming at the next item with these Midases before they really committed to more aggressive plays going forward.
Yeah, and it looks like instead of the Radiance build on the Wraith King, he's actually going to go Midas into Heaven's Halberd. So he's just looking to fight, and I think this is the right play. You want your Storm to be the true carry, right? Storm is your win condition, and you want to enable that as much as possible. So instead of going for this Radiance and being AFK in the jungle, he's just going to look to play aggressively with his Beastmaster, fight whenever he can, and allow the Storm to kind of play that more AFK farm role, get his Bloodstone online, and then show up to fights.
Yep. Nice little division of labor here between the two of them for the time being. Yeah, I mean that's the way that you're gonna win fights, and as I said before, if you win fights, you're gonna be able to take objectives one way or the other. These maps are also going for bling, so he wants to fulfill that initiation role.
And OD's still, he's still going for this Hex. He's almost got it though.
Yeah.
I mean, this might be the fastest Hex timing I've ever seen.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Yeah, all the SAP stats when we need them, right?
Pretty sure this is like 30 minutes faster than average this patch.
Sounds about right. But now smoke up for all the bounty runes. Golem leading the charge. Sword is right here as well. Wouldn't have the Ravage available. We try and stagger the stuns. And they have plenty of control. Maybe not. Jericho throws in that ultimate now with the Shrine Heal. I don't think they're going to get this kill immediately. They're going to punish Jericho for his misdeeds though. Sword back up to full health. And holding on to that ultimate. So I guess a worthwhile trade at the end of the day.
Dire's bottom tower is
Still
under
going to lose a
attack.
bunch of the bounties.
Stupendous.
Yeah,
Analog
unfortunately,
gets
due
one
to
power.
the itemization choices. Oh, mid lane.
Huh?
Right.
Latest curse, a lot of damage being done. Sexy Fat is down. Now Cat trying to TP out, and there's nothing left to cancel it, but it looks like the Ravage in front though. Setting up only for the Lena. Golem thinking about going back in. But it's not really a whole lot that would accomplish, so of course get out.
Radiant's
Ravage
middle
for
tower
2
is
isn't
under
the
attack.
worst. You did use your Winter's Curse. You do still have Sanities. They are still defending this mid tower as well. So overall, not the worst for G-Pride. They're just trying to stall out the game, slow everything down. They're about to have their Hex on OD if he can get to the Secret or the Side Shop. And that's going to be a huge reveal, because there's no way that SG is ready for this.
Yeah.
Though actually, I say that, he's actually queued up the Lincoln Sphere on Analog. He's already prepared.
I mean, I'm sure they clicked the OD at some point. I'm sure they figured out that he's going for that scythe. Gotta be a bit careful. Lincoln Sphere is still a while away, though. And again, can just have the Wraith King in front, I guess.
I was going to say, not often you see Lincoln Sphere second on Storm after the Kaya, but I guess it's not
Radiant's
often
top
that you
tower
see
is under attack.
Brown Boots Hex on OD either, so tit for tat on that one.
Radiant's top
Mid lane tower does look like it's going to go down. I don't think
Looking,
Storm's gonna-
yeah, they were looking for anyone but Tidehunter, and now they finally have to go from there. There were discards available though, so but they're spreading out. Not as much as they would want, but it's on Wraith King. Follow-up roar on the Winter Wyvern, but no damage is really being done, or at least not enough perhaps, until now we did an imprisonment, saving him for the time being. Sword, no Ravage, and they're also sitting in that, but the Hammer gets dropped, double LSA, follow-up stuns. They're gonna bring down Dark Margot. Golem still has a second life to work with. But does he have the support? I mean, they kind of out of spells at this point unless Analog comes in, but he has no mana. They're gonna have to try and make their way out, and yeah, I mean, there's no more stuns, you can just do that, I guess. Hashtag
Yeah,
space
even
creative,
if-
I mean...
You forced out big ultis. The Wraith King, yeah, he used his ult, but he was able to TP out, and Storm still hasn't died in this game. They're catching the OD. They just don't have the lockdown for this Storm, even with the Hex. Like, he got the Hex off on the Storm, and he was beating on him, but there's just no follow-up stuns. If they don't have Ravage, how do they actually kill this Storm?
That's a really good question. I'm not sure they do. Unless he overextends or something.
Yeah, he's got to play some like crazy YOLO Dota, and he's realizing this too. He had the Lincoln Sphere queued up, but he's going, they don't kill me. It's so hard for them to kill me. He's going back for the Bloodstone. I actually think this is the right call.
Well, it is until it isn't, you know.
It is until it isn't. Yeah.
That's the kind of item where it can go both ways. You know, just depending on how things go.
Yeah, that first Flood round Bloodstone is always so important. You can make or break a Storm Spirit's game off of how that first fight around Bloodstone goes. But so far, we have yet to see G-Pride really use all of their abilities in one fight. We've seen Ravage in one fight, or Winter's Curse and Ravage use, or Winter's Curse and Sanities, but we haven't seen that big team fight where all of them get dumped on the enemy team. So maybe that's where this fight will turn around a little. They can actually focus down the Storm Spirit.
Yeah.
They will smoke under a ward though and get spotted, so not even bother.
In mid,
Radiant's
wasn't
middle
that the
tower
overwatch?
is under attack.
What's going on?
No, there's a gem on the Wyvern, so they smoked and then realized that there was a really deep lane ward from SG. Just right in here.
Oh yeah, right. Oracle destroyed one. Rip. Well, it happens. At least they're not wasting too much time because they realized.
Yeah, they caught it. It's unfortunate that you burned the smoke before you caught the
Yeah.
ward, but they They just realized it's not even worth our effort to try and do it. We don't have everybody here. Let's just go back to farming.
Yep. It's Tidehunter still going for the mech and slash Guardian Greaves. Fat with a Blink Dagger at the ready, so Blink Roll is a thing that you have to worry about. You've rather seen the Necrobook here, or this is just a choice? Alright, we don't actually want to split push as much or as crazily, we just want him to be in the fights and make use of their blats and whatnot.
I think the split push is fine. Like I said, the G-Pride lineup really comes together around their 5-man, right? There's a reason that we haven't seen the Sanities and the Ravage and the Winter's Curse all get used at once, and it's because of this effective split pushing from the Beastmaster. So I think this is fine. The Blink is still going to enable his split pushing capabilities because it's going to be hard for them to catch. They don't have the mobility items to really get on top of him, or the range to really cancel the Blink before he's able to get out, especially with the Hawks. So this is going to enable him to split push very safely, very effectively, and then when he does show up for fights, they have strong initiation.
Yep. Right. A quick pause, so we write it back in it. All the ultimates are available apart from... Yeah, the hammer cooldown right now for Dark Mago.
The wards for SG, though, are enabling this top lane push. Like, all of the vision for Gorillaz-Pride right now is centered around this mid lane, and all of the SG vision is just covering this top jungle in here. Minus the one ward that spots out this triangle that OD's been farming all game.
Regeneration.
Always sad to see this ward this deep this early on, but certainly helpful. But despite everything, all they're really finding in the front lines is sword. And that's not really someone that you want to go on, because Krakenchild maxed out right now. He's at plenty of health points, so it's very hard to stagger your stuns properly to prevent the Ravage. So they're not really trying. They're kind of poking a little bit, see if they can refocus on another target. But they're not really overcommitting directly into the Tidehunter, which is probably the right call.
Yeah. The thing is that SG, they're trying to find engagements, but they're not overly committing for those engagements. Like I said, they're poking nicely. Oh boy. Well, they find Wyvern bottom.
Killing spree.
Yep.
Oh, they get the gem too.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's the big pick.
Sure, an analog. How are you gonna get the gem back now if he holds onto it? Oh.
Radiance is on lifesteal. Maybe they get this column kill?
Halberd available, going in, going out. Not a stun. Going in deeper and deeper.
It's gonna get scary real soon.
Alright, that's one. Meanwhile, in the back, the roar goes over onto the Oracle, so they're trying to take out this false promise, and they will be able to. Dark Mega, though, with the Hex over the Beastmaster. The hammer's being dropped. Both these heroes are already casting most of the spells, but what else are you gonna get? Unable to catch up with the Wraith King in his second life. So, 2-for-1 trade. But
I think that was a win for SG still. You
Yeah.
force out the hammer. You do get the Beastmaster kill, which is nice. That's a good pickup. You force out the reincarnation from the Wraith King, which is nice. But you lose your gem. You still lose your Oracle with a very nice wraparound play from from Sexy Fat.
Yeah.
And Storm still hasn't died, and he's going to have his Bloodstone basically now. He's got it. So 22-minute Bloodstone on him. You don't have to worry about Sanities to fight around. I think this is where SG just smokes up and... I guess they wait for Reincarnate. So in the next minute, they're going to smoke up and just run at G-Pride.
it's not a long time. Almost long enough for the Eclipse to come back.
Be about a 30-40 second window without it.
So tier 1 to claim down bottom, so it seems like the obvious target. Maybe also, though, try and secure the area around Roche. Just got the gem. Who's holding on to it? It's the Beastmaster.
They put it in... Oh, they put it on Beastmaster? I was going to say, I thought they put it in base, but yeah, Beast has it. The thing that I really like about how SG is playing this map, though, is if you look at how their heroes are spread, they're in all the lanes. They're farming so incredibly well, across, whereas it feels like G Pride has constantly got this grouping going on. They're trying to get their 5-man together. That's where they're strong. But because of that inability to successfully push out the lanes, they're losing out on a lot of map efficiency, and they're not finding the picks that they need to. Oh, that being said, maybe they find it
on
here.
Storm, BKB on Dark Mago. The Hex over on the support. Lena, not going to be long for the world here. Is that worth it though? Again, I guess they also got the mid tower. Top lane was only Beast Master farming really. They got the tower bottom. Kind of hard to make these calls. More or less even, but okay. Just goes for Ravage. There's a follow-up, there it is. That cat going for the ultimate, trying to make things a little bit more awkward here. Banishment will stop with mana analog. There's a DD rune, yeah, I want to pick that up. Couldn't put it in the bottom, but whatever. It's all alone right now. 2 more of the support heroes are down for the counts. Gotta pick your right battles. This was not one of them.
Yeah. G-Pride's starting to figure out their timings. They're able to force the reactions out of SG. SG need to split that grouping up, and unfortunately the last couple of engagements they've taken have been running into the big groupings of G-Pride. Down bottom it was the OD and the Wyvern, and there in mid it's the Tidehunter who gets the backup of OD who TPs in, as well as the Lifestealer there. So the groupings from G-Pride are still proving very difficult for SG to deal with. Once that Orchid comes online for Storm, maybe things get a little different. You can jump the Lifestealer a bit more successfully. You can jump on the backlines, especially the Oracle, the Wyvern, for that chaos factor that Storm provides.
Yeah. Speaking of the Lifestealer, he now not just only has the Radiance, but also the Heaven's Halberd for himself. So Red King has a BKB, so he can deal with that, sort of. If you get Halberded before the BKB, then you're still disarmed for the rest of the duration, but if you get it off beforehand, then you don't have to worry about that, or the Radiance for that matter.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Back and forth, but this is a fight that they can potentially take. But Arrow with Rage already forced out. There's no Ravage, and there's Analog trying to bait out the few spells, but it's half his mana done already. There's immediate disarm on the Wraith King. Can they catch up to a few more people? They see here Hex in the back, the Raw on the OD BKB as they're also fighting under the Shrine. BKB going back. Couple right clicks here, they're waiting for Dark Mega to be beat down. There it is! Gal with the ult on the backlines here. The Winter's Curse catches the Storm Spirit. They have a bit of follow-up damage here. Analog out of mana because of the Sanities. And for the first time in this game, they're actually bringing down the Storm. And now it is SG Esports on the run. Another Hex, another couple of spells. Got him still with his second life. Plenty of mana for that, I think. And what?
No blink though. He has no way to get out. They see him on the creep wave.
He's trying to be. Oh my god.
He's got no TP though. He's not going anywhere.
That would have been very interesting.
Oh, the buyback.
But hey, he has a second life. The buyback coming through from Storm. That's a long zip across. Trying to go for the backlands, but now Ravage catches suddenly everybody. They're gonna click down the Wraith King sooner or later. Banishment to wait out the Halberd duration. The rest of SG, there's no way in for them. There's no way to engage into this fight, certainly not without any sort of mana. Cat, nothing left to cancel this TP, but they do focus down more important target, Sexy Fat. Down for the count. And
that buyback on Analog felt a bit much. You're only level 18. You just died with a not fresh Bloodstone, but kind of a weaker Bloodstone. You've only got 12 charges. You don't have the mana sustain for a long zip like that and able to re-engage. Yeah. So he burns all his mana. He doesn't find that immediate pick, and his buyback is essentially useless. Now their tier 3's getting sieged.
Let's say buying some time, but there's no way out from slow Crystal Maiden, or is there? And just gonna let Cat go, but looks at objective-based gaming. Yeah. But they're having damage issues, I think, because
yeah, they just don't have anybody to really commit on. OD has his BKB now, and again, they have, I've said it how many times, but G-Pride just has such a good team fight. You saw, SG, they were trying to take the fight around this bottom area before everybody came together, right? Get a quick pick, but who do you get a quick pick on? There's a Tidehunter you're jumping with, an Oracle backing him up. Storm doesn't have anything other than his pull available right now. He doesn't have a Scythe of his own. He doesn't have an Orchid. So there's nobody for them to really safely jump. Beastmaster is able to cut out a lot of the BKB duration from OD with his roar, but it was a 9-second BKB, so it wears off and they just turn the fight with all of their crazy ults. They have Curse to focus down the storm, Sanities to drain all of his mana, and then finally when that re-engage comes after the storm buyback, Ravage is ready.
Yep.
And they just completely kite out everything that SG has to offer.
And once you do that, there's nothing left really. There's no damage output to be found anymore if you've used all of these cooldowns. If you threw everything you had into these teamfight ultimates from G-Pride. And they're really hurting for it right now. Currently with this pause, they have Golem smoked up. Also have Lina behind, the rest of the team a little bit lagging a little bit further behind even. Can they take it to team fight now without Ravage, without the Sanity's Eclipse?
The thing is that Curse is one of the best low cooldown teamfight ults that they have, and it's so good for peeling away from these fights, right? You just drop it on, even if you just drop it on one of the tankier people, right? You drop it on the Wraith King or the Beastmaster. Yeah, you might not kill them, but it allows your team to disengage and wait for the next fight. It'll be up again in 80 seconds when your OD is ready and when your Ravage is ready. Or you can go for a kill and drop it on your Lina or drop it on your Storm and see who you can pick off with that. Either way, the fact that this Winter's Curse is almost constantly available makes it so hard for SG to properly pick off one of the fights, and it's one of the reasons they're being kited around these fights so well. Between that and the Cold Embrace, just takes their damage issues and cranks it.
It's not even just the one hero. Otherwise, it would just be as simple as for the Storm to just jump on Wyvern trying to burst her down. But if that's not there, then there's the OD with the Imprisonment to save somebody one way or the other. And let's not forget about the Oracle either. That's what he does, period. Right? So, if they're in the right position, it seems incredibly hard for SG to be able to initiate the fight.
Arcane DD on Storm. This is maybe the fight that they live for.
They're gonna try. There's the Oracle going down first, or at least there's the save though. Now the LSA, plenty of magic damage though to finish the job. BKBs from both sides. And now both teams saying, alright, can we actually continue here? Analog kinda low on health and mana, but he's still zipping around. Looking for the next support hero. Winter Wyvern up on a higher ground, but now he's out of spells here, out of mana too. They're trying to run him down with the Winter's Curse. Easy kill.
Oh my god.
And that's a tieback too. Let's not forget about that. Cat is gonna finish off Slady. Not quite. The Hex working overtime here for Dark Nego. Double kill for Slady here at the end of the day. How? This Storm does not seem strong enough right now. With or without Blood.
And there's a Lotus complete on the Wyvern too. So even if he does manage to get this, okay, I was gonna say he's giving up on his work. He just needs a BKB so he can safely jump in at this point. He tried jumping the Oracle there, and there was a heal from the Wyvern and a Hex from the OD.
Yeah. Barely able to finish him off with the with the Laguna Blade through that Cold Embrace. Yeah, now with the Storm down, no buyback possibility. That's an easy Roche. Not the fastest in the world, but don't think they'll be able to contest unless Sexy Fat is gonna go for the big place. Oh my god, he got it! He got it! I mean, he's gonna die twice, but he got it.
Yeah, that's so worth it. That's so worth it. It is for the style points alone.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
worth it.
absolutely.
But that might have also saved them a lane of racks, because if Lifestealer gets the Aegis there, then you just safely siege with everyone sitting super far behind. You just have the Lifestealer sit up front, run up with Rage, hit the tower, back off. Run up with Rage, hit the tower, back off. And if you ever try and commit on him with Roar or anything, there's Oracle, there's OD, there's Tidehunter. You're not doing nothing.
Well, the game is saved, not just because of that, but also because they got 4 bounty runes from side of SG. Crystal Maiden will give her life for the cause. Good bottom lane as well. 3 tier 2, perhaps. Some rotations though. Make this a bit awkward. So they're trying everything they can to have G-Pride look behind themselves and react to these other lanes. Instead of just still, even without the Aegis, instead of just 5-manning down a lane. Still kind of doing it in mid. Sword does not fear anything right now. He has Pipe and Guardian Greaves, level 22.
The one nice thing for SG, if they are able to hold on till the end of the game, if they're able to make it that long, is that OD's BKB is starting to run low. He's down to 7 seconds already, and if you get into an ultra late game scenario, we saw G-Pride do it earlier themselves. Maybe SG can turn it around. You get to like a 50-60 minute game where OD's BKB is on 5 seconds. Things can maybe turn around. Until then,
we gotta find some sort of defense here. Beastmaster's a card. Set up for the Ravage here on 3 different heroes. The hammer gets dropped. Insta-kill on 2. Insta-buyback as well. It's Jericho. Down for the count. Golem in the middle of the fight with that BKB. Trying to find a target. Sword looks like he might go down at the end of the day despite the heals. And that's the gem sitting in the base as well. Madara, Rage TP out. Nothing left to get rid of that. Withdrawal already used, but I found something better. OD. Next on the list. Double kill for Ma.
okay.
Cost him 3 buybacks. But they got a few important kills and the gem once again in that pocket.
They did get the gem, and they did not buy back on Storm. So they bought back on the 2 supports, but Storm and buy back on 2 supports and the Beastmaster. But Storm and Beastmaster and Wraith King, words. Storm and Wraith King were able to stay alive and just hold out through that. So not too bad of a hold. Does create a bit of a timing window for G-Pride, but they did use all their ults, so overall, I think SG pretty happy with holding there. They didn't lose a tier 3, they didn't lose any barracks.
Thing is, considering the way that that started, you only get one of these kind of fights where you buy back and turn it. Because the next time you're not gonna have these second lives on most of the heroes. I mean, Golem even committing to his next item, which is the Assault Cuirass. Oh, let's try and man fight up against Madara. Neither of them's really gonna easily kill the other, but Golem doesn't have much lifesteal by the looks of it. There's many health points left right now as they whittled away at it. So AC online. No buyback as a result. He needs 1200 gold. Storm also needs a bit of gold and time. Okay. Going in. Cadwin goes up to keep himself safe. Now that ultimate is going, and now with the BKB as well, they're trying to once again burst on the Oracle, and they will be able to. The Witness Curse hold them all in place. Golem, actually, no, he's still fighting. He was BKB'd up, so Analog, he was absolutely fine until now. Perhaps BKB film Dark Mango hacks up. Couple right clicks here, but it does get this about. No follow up. Golem force stuff up to the high ground, only just. But he will be able to survive. Ma, different story. The root catches up to the laner. At least they get one thing out of this, but probably not as much as they wanted. Okay, never mind. Cat. Maybe the secondary support also going down.
They need to spam out these waves. They need to keep their waves off. It's a minute with no Lina and no Crystal Maiden. Ults are going to be available for G-Pride, with the exception of the Winter's Curse. That'll be up in 30 seconds, though, so still about a 20-30 second window where they'll have everything ready. Beastmaster is trying to split push up top, does have a TP in case he needs to come back. Storm doing his shenanigans mid. The backdoor's already been disabled, so they will burn the glyph.
Backdoor will not come back for long unless they can get rid of the next wave as well. No glyph available for the Dire, so they can't really keep it alive. Unless maybe the pipe does the trick. But either way, single creep stays alive, so
they have a creep alive.
That's all you need. Even Oracle casting spells, yeah. False promise, go false promise to creep. It's actually important.
Oh man.
Well, that's a mid set of Rex gone. Fresh creep wave coming in towards mid.
They have everything ready on G-Pride for counter initiation. Curse is ready, Ravage is ready, and Sanities is ready.
Forced out. Now, but how do you engage in this kind of a lineup? Well, tried for the backlands here. BKB once again making play on Jericho. The heals are there, the imprisonment as well. The rock comes through. I think that got punched off immediately. Either way, starting kept safe. Still has the Witness Curse if necessary, and it is there to keep the Storm Spirit controlled up. Everyone's still living, at least on the Dire side. The Radiant not really looking all that healthy. Golem still with his first life, is still focusing on the rest of these heroes. Analog out of mana. Does the buyback available again? Golem actually is gonna die here. There we go. That's his first life. Don't have any issues. They shouldn't have any issues killing him twice unless the Storm can do something about it, but he wants to kill creeps instead. He's gotta keep farming, you know. It's the only way back.
Oh, I thought Dark Mago took the kill with the Imprisoned just to laugh.
Not great.
Storm does cut the
Radiant's
creep
bottom
waves
barracks are under attack.
and
Dire's
re-enable that
structures
back
are
door.
fortified.
It's something. It's not much. Oh, they glyph the wave actually.
And we
He's
saw
gotta
the
run away.
mana.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah.
Dire's
Not even
top
bothering
tower
with the
is under
range, just
attack.
gonna go straight for top. Not the fastest tower pushing heroes, especially without the
Radiant's
Lifestealer
bottom
Desolator
barracks
builds.
are
But
under attack.
I mean, if everyone's dead, that's all you're really gonna need.
Radiant's top tower is falling. Radiant's
I don't
middle
see how
tower
this
is
game.
under attack.
I don't know how you hold this game. Wraith King doesn't have the item build to turn into a core. He itemized more as a utility, which I think if Storm had kind of farmed a little bit more, or again, that timing around his first Bloodstone was the big thing, right? He showed up to the fight, and they got like one pick, and then he immediately died. It just felt like he lost the snowball from there. They never had more damage to follow up. G-Pride was able to turn around with that team fight, and now Mega Creeps.
I just, well, gets the ultimate off actually for a moment. Sword brought into the fountain. Takes quite a few hits. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have one last fight, one last hurrah. Maybe they can hold once more, but there's a Scourge available again thanks to that Jericho ultimate. Goodbye, sexy fat Golem in the middle of that fight. Sword kind of dropping low, but doesn't really matter when Scourge now onto the Storm Spirit. Jericho's there, follow up route. And nice little Alice Ado trying to buy some time. That's still Golem's first life, so he'll be back with the BKB at the ready. But just no
Here
damage.
come the Mega Creeps.
No one's dying. They're healing more on Madara than they're actually taking damage, and the Mega Creep's gonna do their own thing to help out soon enough.
Dominating, I guess.
One by one, they're full. G-Pride not even taking it then. Breaking the sweat, or whatever you want to say. Madara, he's diving the freaking fountain with the rest of his team, because why the hell not? We'll 5-man wipe. This is how we call GG.
I mean, they're not calling it. Props to them for being resilient to the end, but it's...
I think this is just BM at this point.
There we go. Okay. SG called it that.
Yeah.
Call the GG.
Well, the ult's used one last time just for good measure, but certainly well played for G-Pride. They did manage to make their team fight work.
I mean, SG, they had a really good attempt at splitting up the map and forcing everything, but when they tried to poke in, it felt like they either... I don't know if they overcommitted or if Gorillaz-Pride was just really solid on their counters, because it felt like every time SG poked in, G-Pride was just ready with too many heroes to respond, and they punished it every time. Yeah, they'd lose like Oracle here, or they'd lose the Wyvern there. Every once in a while, they'd lose Tide. But they never really lost the big heroes, and they always punished with 2 or 3 kills in return. And then eventually they were able to catch the Storm, catch the Wraith King, and game.
Well, it is what it is. Gorillaz-Pride put another point on the board. But SG Esports down to 1-2 right now. We're going to take a short break, but we have a few more games left for this one. Furia Esports versus Ego Boys coming up next. Stay tuned.